Welcome to On the Chain. This is Chip here without Jeff. I'm going to be flying the plane solo today. Jeff is out on assignment. He actually couldn't make it today due to a work engagement. So I'll be hanging with you guys for, I don't know, next 45 minutes to an hour, something like that. But we've got a lot of good stuff planned. When I say we, Jeff contributes to the show, although he may not be here. So we talk a lot about what we're going to talk about, even though he can't be here. So today we're going to get into this whole Bitcoin maxi meltdown. The maximalists are going insane. Like, I never thought grown men and women would act this way, but hey, a lot of weird things happen. And I'll also get into the Trump executive order that probably set this whole thing off because of how it's worded and what it says and what it doesn't say. And it's just been really nonstop winning incredibly all the way. So we're going to get to it in just a little bit. And when I come back here, I want to see where you guys are coming in from, and then we'll go from there. Sound like a plan? Sounds like a plan. Let's go.
Welcome to On the Chain.
This is the part where I say, guys, drop where you're coming in from. I want to see where you are coming in from. I see a lot of this happening already. Good morning from Wisconsin, XRP chick. We got good morning from Celebration, Chad, as always. Beautiful to see that. Love to see that. Let's see. You say good morning from South Florida Digital. Beautiful. Crypto Whelp is here. Beautiful. From Belgium, baby. Then we've got Slovakia in the house. Beautiful. Gotta love that. And let's see. What else do we have here? Who else is coming in? Where are we coming in from? Can't even see that flag. It's so tiny. Savannah, Georgia. Love Savannah. Gosh, what a great, that graveyard there is amazing, man. A little creepy too. We got Brisbane in the house. Beautiful. Caroline, good to see you. I actually had the opportunity to meet Caroline in person. Amazing. Had a great time. It was really fantastic. And hopefully I'll be seeing you again in May. Announcement coming soon. So Norway's in the house as well. Just love this. Morning from Miami, Pablo. Good to see you as well. Love to see everybody bouncing in here. 14 minutes and got in and just noticed good morning. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, sometimes getting some stuff rolling in the morning is a little bit difficult. I planned to go live on time, but it didn't happen. It happens sometimes. You try to go live and it doesn't always happen. But I want to get to all the winning because it's just been, there's so much stuff going on, like especially when I look at X, but even around my whole world. People are texting me things. I'm getting my DMs are blowing up. And I can't keep up with all of it, but there's just so much amazing stuff going on. It's winning. And I can't remember a week where there has been so much winning going on in a long time, right? And it's a great way to start off 2025 and beyond. And I just hope that this energy that happens, it's quelling up in the US is going to be spread around the world, all that love, because I feel like we're one world. We are one people. We, especially here on the chain, what we really champion is a lot of things, free speech, but we also champion decentralization and the power of blockchain and what can be done with it. And we're all the early adopters, right? They're still pretty new. However, we did see in this past election cycle the power of crypto. We saw the amount of money that was raised, that was given to candidates who were pro-crypto. If you were in pro-crypto, and I think something like 87% of them won. So do we have a voice? We have a voice. Do we make a difference? Absolutely make a difference. Texas baby right there. What's up, lower level? An OG. Been around the space forever. What's up, lower level? Good to see you, man. We have a voice. And the thing about it is that when we think about all the things that we've been through the last 3-4 years, all of and beyond, right? All of this stuff that was just shoved down our throats. We were getting up every day. We were going to work. We were looking after our family, our kids, whatever. We were just looking after, just trying to make it out in the world and try to live our dreams and do all this stuff. Meanwhile, all this incoming garbage was hitting there, and we're pretty tolerant to the point of where it's like, all right, stop, enough. And then the election happened, and it was a landslide. Now, I predicted a landslide. And I was hoping I was right, but everything that I saw on the inside polls and everything else really kind of pointed to the fact that there was going to be a Trump victory. And I saw just everywhere I looked, I could see that there was more and more people that were leaving the Democrat Party, that were moving over to the Republicans. I say this all the time. I'm not a Republican. There's a lot of things I don't like about the Republican Party. I don't like the rhinos. There's a lot of things that I don't like, but I feel like the MAGA party really, the Make America Great Again, this is what Trump stands for, what Trump did in his first term. The first 100 hours, we're going to talk about the first 100 hours, the most probably incredible 100 hours of any U.S. president. Monumental, groundbreaking, the amount of executive orders, right? The stuff that's going on with Congress. There's been a lot of planning that's gone into this, especially with Congress. So I love to see where Congress, and I'm always weary of Congress, right? Blah, blah, blah. They talk a lot of, shit. They don't actually deliver a lot of times, but that's our job to keep them, on track. Pete Hegseth was confirmed yesterday. There was all this hoopla about he's an alcoholic and he beats people and all, the same tired stories. Yeah, the guy's had some problems. Yeah, he's had a couple marriages. So what? You want to look at the one man who stood up and saved Europe? The one man, I want to hear his name in there. What's his name? Troubled guy, right? Smoked a cigar. But he stood up, put his foot down. Now, today, the liberals would criticize. And what they did to him after that was just insane. I want to see if you guys are paying attention. I'll see if I see it show up in the chat. I want to see, are you guys paying attention? But it's not about that. It's about the job you can execute, and it's about what you can actually, pull off. But let's get started here. Let's jump in. One problem, first 100 hours, Trump ran out of ink. Very funny. Yeah, I'm not a rep either, but Trump was the only way to go. Yeah, it's exactly the way the thing. And the best thing about it is Trump's not liked by a lot of the, so-called, these insider Republicans that have been around forever. And let's face it, we got to, what I want him to fix is let's do the blockchain voting. Let's fix this. Do you really believe a guy like Mitch McConnell, who's the dopiest guy, who's one of the dumbest guys, the Republicans, right? I mean, there's a lot of Republicans. I mean, we bash the Democrats, but let's face it, there's a lot of really dopey Republicans, okay, that really need to be throat punched. And are you buying in deep red states that they're getting elected every time? I'm sorry, I'm not buying it. I feel like they're selected, not elected, right? I feel like there's just no way that's, yep, here it is right here. Chad's paying attention. Churchill is a troubled dude. If you look at him, drank too much, philanderer, there's a lot of stuff going on with that dude. But you know what? Put his foot down. And I love to see you guys that are here paying attention. He put his foot down, right? And, some would argue that I feel like he really, feel like a Chamberlain, who is the, prime minister before him, was like, oh, yeah, Hitler's a great guy. Yeah, I met with him. He's awesome. Right? It's like a big contrast. So you had someone like Churchill, and what they did, my gosh, what they did to him after the World War II ended, and how they treated him, and the stories they wrote about him, man, not a lot of respect given there. Yep, there you go. Crypto wealth, there it is. Beautiful. Love you guys, man. Here's Phoenix. Oh, Phoenix Starborn, man. Good to see you in here. It's been a long time, man. How are you doing? Yes, blockchain voting, no brainer for genuine democracy. Phoenix Starborn, one of the early supporters here on the chain. Gosh, probably one of the first, probably at the very first broadcast of On the Chain. So I love to see that, man. Good to see you. I love to see when people pop back in here. We haven't seen in a while. It's very special. Means a lot to Jeff and I too, just because, you've been big supporters, and it's great to see old faces, even if you're on there. It has, yeah, nice. Yeah, nice to see you, my friend. Absolutely, man, absolutely. And I wish Jeff was here too, but I'll let Jeff know that you popped in here. But Jeff is, Jeff has had an early morning, and then unfortunately, he loves doing this. And guess what's going to happen tomorrow night? You're going to get Jeff solo. You know why? Because I'll be watching the Bills game. Bills take on the Chiefs. Chiefs have been tough. Chiefs have eliminated the Bills the last 2 years. Bills have been eliminated from going to the big Super Bowl game the last 3 years in a row. I'm hoping this is going to be a different one. So I hope that the Bills are going to be in the Super Bowl, and that they'll probably take on the Eagles. But I don't know. Washington's been pretty tough. Enough about football, because nobody cares about American football except Americans. Let's face it. Well, there's a couple of Aussie friends that I have that actually are really, one of them is a big Bills fan. But let's go into this right here. I wanted to kind of start off here, and let's run through it because we got a lot of stuff to cover today. Let's go through here. Now, what started this whole thing off was that Trump signed an executive order banning central bank digital currencies, better known as CBDCs. And this whole thing of now, a lot of what he talked about during the campaign, a lot of these executive orders, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not a fan of executive orders. I like legislation to go through Congress because you know what happens? Trump basically came in and signed executive orders that undid what Joe Biden did. When Joe Biden came in, he undid all of the Trump things, right? So to me, I prefer legislation. I prefer it to go through Congress. I prefer it to be signed into law. A little bit more difficult to undo. However, this is something that is in the works, by the way. This is just a temporary, this is the president putting a ban via an executive order, and it's only good during his presidency type of thing. But to me, based on the Constitution and how we should operate, I'm not a big fan of these executive orders. I really believe that legislation is the way to go. So there you go. XRP to the moon, baby. And let's see what's this. I noticed Chad. That one looks. Oh yeah, there we go. I'm talking about our Yetis right there. Yeah, go Bills, baby. C-Dubs, what's that? It's my Bills buddy right there, and he was sending me pictures from the game that he was at last week, which was phenomenal. Love to see Mr. Brightside. Man, that was great. I was like, hey man, send me one Mr. Brightside. And sure enough, right on cue, I got it. From inside the stadium. We see it on TV, but it's kind of like you don't really see it because it's mostly during a commercial break. So that was a lot of fun to watch. Everybody singing, the words being flashed on the screen. That was really cool, man. But I believe the Bills are going to do it. And I really hope that that's the way it's going to go. So what they pull out here is agencies are hereby permitted or prohibited from undertaking any action to establish, issue, or promote CBDCs within the jurisdiction of the United States or abroad. There it is. Done. Now, you know that Jeff and I have not been big time. We haven't been big on CBDCs. I understand that Ripple and there's a lot of other, orgs that promote CBDCs. What I've always tried to get to is I don't like the whole idea of programming. If you think about it, our money's digital anyway. They don't make a lot of sense, right? Stable coins make more sense. Even if you were to have, I don't know, let's say that the U.S. was going to, let's say that Trump eliminates the Fed, which I think will happen, eliminates the IRS, which I think will happen. If you think about it, what's the real gain? Well, the programmability. So that means that somebody could come in and say, well, if you couldn't use it to buy a certain thing or because you believe a certain thing. This is what I don't care for. Like, why would you have any programmability into money when it's just a unit of value, right? So this is where a stable coin makes a little bit more sense because a stable coin can do pretty much anything that other than the programmable side of it. I love this thing so much. I love it. So this is a little bit of the excerpt here from the actual executive order itself. And I do think this is going through legislation. So we'll have to see how that sort of pans out. Also coming up here, we've got Blockchain Association been putting out these great sort of updates. They said today, we, along with some of the most important crypto companies and investors, received a letter from the GOP oversight asking for information on the recent debanking of lawful companies and individuals. We're grateful for Rep. James Comer leadership on this critical issue. So a little bit of background on this. We heard Jesse Powell from Kraken come out and say there was a whole dust up that went around X not too long ago where a lot of these, even Brad Garlinghouse said he was debanked. So if you were like running a CEO of a company, of a crypto company, can you imagine being debanked? You're Brad Garlinghouse, you're CEO of Ripple, an American company, founded in 2012, and you're debanked for what reason? So this whole idea of getting debanked, if you were conservative, if you had conservative values, if you had an organization, I know people that ran merch stores that were pro-Trump gear, debanked, right? So, and people think, oh, you don't need a bank. Well, we still need a bank. You still need you need to be banking. You need to be able to make payments. We're not 100% there with blockchain. But this is really important development because I actually thought this wouldn't get much attention. But the fact that we're hearing about this is just incredible. There's no Jeff rant today. I'm sorry, Charles, but you'll get a Jeff rant tomorrow night. And there's also no Yeti today because I can't locate the sheet that has the available Yetis on it. So there's not going to be a Yeti giveaway. Sorry about that, guys, but maybe Jeff can give 2 away tomorrow. So sorry about that. Phoenix Starboard executive orders are very useful to right a sinking ship because if you just get used to Congress doing nothing, you get nothing done, and they move at the speed of a disabled snail. That's correct. An executive order can create momentum. That's absolutely right. That's a good way to look at that. And the other part about that, too, if you think about with an executive order versus now Congress was set up. The checks and balances, the way the framers and founders of the United States envisioned it was they wanted to make it difficult to get stuff done. They didn't want you to be like push a button and it's through. The reason they wanted that is because they wanted a lot of thought to go around it. And when the formation of the U.S. Constitution happened, it happened over like 19 years before it was actually ratified, and looked like a lot like the Federalist Papers. And you had three men writing under pseudonyms because back, they weren't exposing their names. But the whole idea was that they wanted to get the ideas out there. And they had these knockdown, drag-out fights about how the Constitution should be, what it should look like, and sort of crafting it, right? So you had a lot of different varying ideas, and the things aren't supposed to be easy through Congress. But let's face it, it shouldn't be like a snail's pace. And this was what's always killed me and what really bugs me about Republicans. Democrats, what I'll give them is the fact that they're united. They move quickly. They pass stuff through Congress. When they own the House, the Senate, and they own the presidency, they move stuff, right? When they have the majority, they move stuff. The Republicans, they got a bunch of dopey Republicans, and they don't know. And you have people like Lisa Murkowski, and she was going to vote no. You're a Republican. The people, we the people in the United States voted overwhelmingly for Trump. We don't care what you think. Get on the Trump train because this is the legislation that people voted for. The nominees he was going to choose, what he was going to do. Do we have to agree with everything? No, we're not going to agree with everything any president does, everything Congress does. But when there's an overwhelming win like this, where you take the House back, you keep the Senate, you have the popular vote and all that, and you're a Republican and you're like, I don't think my opinion is, no one cares about your opinion. Your opinion doesn't mean anything. The opinion is the American people. That's the opinion you should be going with. It goes on to say that after November's election, we sent a letter to President Trump and the new Congress outlining key priorities to tackle in the first 100 days. The ending the debanking of crypto was one of the top priorities. This is from November talking about it. It was also an issue that we addressed last month at our policy summit. Senator Lummis stated that debanking is a corrupt process. It's like a third world country would do, and we're going to do so much better in 2025. Absolutely. There you are. There's Senator Lummis talking about it at the summit. Under the leadership of Trump, Senator Tim Scott, Senator Lummis, the GOP oversight, Rep. Jim Comer, and Rep. French Hill, Rep. Andy Band, also acting FDIC Chair Hill, and others are grateful for this issue in week one priority. Getting to the bottom of this is critical for U.S. innovation. Can't agree more. You can't have banks jumping in and just debanking people. Sorry, man. Can't happen. Back in March 23rd, we filed a FOIA and a FOIL request to further investigate communications between regulators and banks to determine if there was direct instructions to restrict access to crypto companies. We're still waiting on responses, and I'm sure they're going to slow walk this one because you know damn well there's communications. You know damn well administration probably put the thumb screws to some of these companies, telling them what to do. We saw a lot of that with people getting banned on social media. We also launched an anonymous tip line for those impacted by debanking, debanked at theblockchainassociation.org, to gather stories and information. Following our investigation, a clear pattern emerged. Legal businesses and individuals were systematically denied access to banking, often with little to no explanation. I never heard somebody who was debanked that actually talked about it on X and said, they debanked because of X. No, they gave no notice. A lot of times, you imagine a company that has payroll. Companies couldn't make payroll because they had no access to their money anymore. They got debanked with nowhere to put the money. So people didn't get paid. That's pretty outrageous. But the tide is turning, and there's a new leadership in D.C. that's committed to ending this unlawful discriminatory practice. We remain committed to listening to the industry, companies, individuals who have experienced this firsthand, and amplifying their stories. The saga shows why many are drawn to crypto in the first place. We want to live in a world where everyone controls their own financial destiny, free from undue political indifference. That's very well stated and very well written. Individuals in a lawful industry shouldn't be punished because of overzealous regulators. We're pleased that the GOP oversight is investigating this issue thoroughly. We look forward to providing the committee all the help it needs, along with all these other folks. And there you go. Together, we can ensure crypto pioneers, innovators, and entrepreneurs are free to innovate, build, and create. And, the same thing goes for banks restricting people. I mean, I understand this is debanking, But another thing that has happened is that there are people that wanted to buy crypto on an exchange, right? They were like banned from, unable to buy crypto. Their bank forbid it, right? They get some nasty letter. We can't buy crypto, endorse crypto. It's legal. What I like about Trump, and I will say this, is that you may not like the meme coin. It was questionable, like to release that right before the presidency. Was it a good move? You guys can figure it out. But I will say that the fact that over half his wealth is in crypto, we're not going back to the Gary Gensler days. No, we're charting new territory, new path. We're definitely not going back there. What else? How much more winning can there be? How much more winning can there be? So this is Ellie Terrett posted this. He said, moving quickly, crypto firms Uniswap, Coinbase. This is and Horowitz, what is it called? The AZ16. Lightspark, Kraken have been asked by the House Oversight Committee to provide information related to claims of debanking of individuals and businesses, because we know that some of those businesses, especially Coinbase and Jesse Powell from Kraken, was debanked. He blew up X, talking a lot about it. Also, so how fast is this moving? This is how fast. The Senate Banking Committee will hold a debanking hearing on Wednesday, February 5th. Okay, moving pretty quick. We'll see what happens. The Banking Committee will investigate debanking. Announced in the Senate Banking Committee will hold a hearing. Debanking's un-American. Every legal business deserves to be treated the same, regardless of their political beliefs or the fact. And unfortunately, under Operation Choke Point 2.0, Biden regulators abused their power, forced financial institutions to cut off services to digital asset firms, political figures, and conservative-aligned businesses and individuals. It's unacceptable. The chairman of the Senate Banking Committee, as the chairman, I will look forward to working with President Trump, industry leaders, and members of both parties to stop this, said Chairman Scott. Very cool. Very cool indeed. Let's take some count. What's going on in the chat? What's going on? Good morning on the chain. What's up, our caffeine? What's going on? Murkowski voted with Obama 63% of the time. Yeah, this is what we call rhinos, R-I-N-O, Republican in name only. They're really Democrats. People like Mitt Romney's of the world, Mitch McConnell's. Mitch McConnell once in a while did something decent, but I think it's mostly because he got pressure, not necessarily because it was in his heart. So it's good that he's not running, leader of the Senate anymore. And we got this. I'm just grateful we're heading in the right direction, says Pablo. Absolutely. XRP alive in 25. Yeah, XRP Hollywood. Another OG here. Good to see you in here. Been around a long time. Pop Smoke, China runs most Bitcoin mining. No chance for a Bitcoin reserve. I still think it's going to happen. I'll get into that too, but there's some fun things. I've just been astounded. What I've seen the last 24 to 48 hours on X has been shocking to me. I'm like, this is stuff you'd see at a schoolyard, like weird claims going on about, and I'll get to some of this, but it's to me, and I'll get to some of it. Let's not go before it's time, but I'll get into a little bit of rant. What else? How much winning is there? There's just so much winning. Bye SAB 121. It's not been fun at the SEC. So this is Hester Peirce. She put out, this staff accounting bulletin and also staff accounting bulletin 122, it made it ungodly for companies to be able to report crypto holdings. Other point of where it was at nauseam, where you did not want to even hold crypto. This is another Gary Gensler sponsored BS thing. You probably can't, none of us can probably imagine the joy, the ecstasy that Hester Peirce typed this out on her phone or on her computer. She's typing. She loved to hit send because Hester Peirce did not agree with anything Gary Gensler was up to doing. Imagine working for an org with the bad, crappy leadership of Gary Gensler. So the SAB 121, it's not been fun. Sometimes you'll say, it's been fun, but see ya. This is like, no, it's not been fun. See you later. The fact that they killed this, phenomenal. So we don't even need legislation at this point because it's dead on arrival. Gotta love that. Ellie Terrett again. Per my Fox News colleague, Ed Lawrence, the crypto executive order signs. Let's talk about some of the details. The executive order establishes the Presidential Working Group on Digital Asset Markets to strengthen U.S. leadership in digital finance. The working group will also be tasked with developing a federal regulatory framework governing digital assets. including stablecoins, and evaluating the creation of a strategic national digital asset stockpile. Now, this is what has the Bitcoin maxis all their panties in a bunch. Why? Because they say they were promised a strategic Bitcoin reserve. And what did they get? The wording here is strategic national digital assets. Oh, that's different. So this whole idea that you would think that there's one crypto to rule them all is very short-sighted. But this wording, I went through, they read it, and they're like, uh-oh, whoa, we thought it was just going to be a Bitcoin reserve, and that was going to be it. No, it's going to be a strategic digital assets stockpile. And the working group will be chaired by White House AI and crypto czar David Sachs, and include the Secretary of the Treasury, the head chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission, and the heads of other relevant departments and agencies. The White House AI and crypto czar will engage leading experts in the digital assets and digital markets to ensure that these actions in the working group are informed by expertise beyond the federal government. I remember watching, if you guys watched the All In pod, where David Sachs is one of the members, one of the four, he was talking really favorably about the win of when July 13th, 2023, when the, was it 23? Yeah, it was 23. And it's almost 2 years ago. Wow. When he was talking about the Ripple win, XRP is not a security, and then Ripple selling to institutional investors was a security, blah, blah, blah. He's like, yeah, I was just texting with Brad Garlinghouse. So he knows Brad. They know each other pretty well. I would imagine that Garlinghouse, Ripple have a seat at this table. I think a lot of the other, if you pick out some of the top 10 cryptos, and you'll probably see a lot of the same folks, but it needs to be broad. It needs to be wide. Dave Roberts coming in from Sydney. Good to see you. Beautiful. Love that. Good morning. Good morning, Crypto Navigator in the house. Beautiful. If Bitcoin maxis are so worried about XRP, why not just buy XRP? Hedge your portfolio. No, you don't understand. They hate XRP. It's like, have you ever seen anybody go out of their way? Like, for example, if you, I don't care what it is in your life. I mean, like, even if you look at the stock market, it's like, oh man, I hate this stock. I hate it. It's the dumbest stock ever. No, you just buy what you like. You have your favorites. I own NVIDIA. I own Palantir. I own, Apple. Like whatever stocks you own. You're like, oh no, I'm gonna hate on this crypto. No, this crypto, and the narratives are so old and tired. It's astounding to me. I can't. I don't even know where to put it. It's so ridiculous. But it's been a lot of fun. I've been enjoying the community, who's very well educated. Kind of respond, and we'll get into some of those as well. Executive order also directs departments and agencies with identifying and making recommendations to the working group on any regulations and other agency actions affecting the digital assets sector that should be rescinded. Very big key right there, rescinded or modified. And one thing that I will tell you that I'm really happy about is Tom Emmer, Warren Davidson. These guys are two champions in the house who have written really good stuff. I mean, I love Tom Emmer's bill. This is something I was going off about the other day when I got on my rant. But what I love about Tom Emmer's bill, it modifies the 33 and 34 securities law. We're not trying to fit this new box into the legacy box. We are trying to push that aside and go forward. That was my whole point, is let's redefine what digital asset class means. Not a security. The SEC is going to have nothing to do with it because it's not a security. Having companies come in and register, no, not going to be with the SEC, because again, you write the legislation that it's not a freaking security, right? We're going back to the 1946 Howey test. This is insanity. This is ridiculous that we have to think about not what was defined. And they had no intentions of even understanding what digital assets were back in the day. We have to define where we want to go. And so this whole idea of rescinded or modified is going to be great. Tom Emmer wrote a good bill. Warren Davidson wrote, the token taxonomy, that you could pass the original one today, and it would be so much better. But I think what they're going to do is take the best of all of it, put something forward, and be great. But the SEC is not the people to do it. I want it to come from the private sector. Brad Garlinghouse has been asking for to be regulated. A lot of other crypto firms have as well. The executive order also prohibits agencies from undertaking any action to establish, issue, or promote a CBDC. Executive order also revokes the previous administration's digital asset executive order and Treasury Department's framework for international engagement on digital assets, which suppressed innovation and undermined U.S. economic liberty and global leadership in digital finance. Wow, that was a lot to say, but this is a good thing. And thank God that Ellie put all the fine points so we don't have to go through the whole damn, because some of these, the way they're written, not that favorable. And so thank you, Ellie Terrett, for the amazing work that you've been doing. I really, really appreciate all that stuff. Jeff hit the pause button, making another. Jeff hit the pause button. Jeff hit the pause button, making another cup of bold coffee. Nice. Yeah. I'll tell you what, Mike, it loves the coffee. The badass YETIS coffee, which we will also get to, is he's a big champion of that as well. Being here is an act of wisdom. Investing is an act of hope. Boom, Zober with the win right there. So yeah, Pablo. Well, you guys make this happen because your opinion matters here, and pro or con, your opinion matters. I love to hear from you guys. Like, what are you thinking about? That's why, Jeff and I try to flash as many of these comments up there, because quite honestly, Jeff and I would not do a show if it wasn't live. I mean, me sitting looking at my computer, it does feel a little weird, right? I'm sitting here talking, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just a guy, in my house looking at my computer. That's it. Talking to my computer. It's a little awkward sometimes. And it's even weirder if there's no audience. I know you guys are out there. I can see what you're saying. But when we used to just do videos and upload them, I don't know. It's not as much fun. Let's put it that way. I didn't enjoy it. This I enjoy because I love hearing from you guys and what you're thinking. Meta Lawman, I love this guy. He said here, there's no mention of the government buying Bitcoin or other crypto assets in the executive order today. And the working group shall evaluate. So he goes on to reestablish that. But he's making a good point. You can read the whole thing for yourself. We're not going to do that because Ellie was the one that sort of did that. Now, this is what has the Bitcoin Maxis furious. Like, they're spewing. Like, I don't even think they're actually putting any thought. They're just mad because they thought they were getting a Bitcoin reserve. And I still think Bitcoin's going to probably be one of the bigger in that basket of digital assets, but it's going to probably be 4 or 5, maybe even 6. But let's look at it this way. $100,000 Bitcoin, you purchase $100,000 Bitcoin, it 10x's and goes to $1 million. You buy $3.50 or $3.20, wherever. I haven't looked at the price of XRP in a while, and that goes up 100x or 50x. What's better? Or you buy another crypto. You buy SUI. That's, I think it's sitting at 4 something today. You buy SUI, and that goes up to $100. So you got to hedge your bet. And the thing is, why would the government would not go wider to hedge its bet in the portfolio, like someone mentioned earlier? Why wouldn't you do that? Because it just makes a little bit of sense. Do I own Bitcoin? I do. The ETH, yes. Oh, ETH, Chip, what do ETH get? I don't care, man. I'm an investor. Jeff and I talk about it all the time. I'm crypto agnostic. Yes, I have my favorites. Yes, we talk a lot about XRP. I love the XRPL. I mean, it's something I'm akin to, but I like SUI. There's a lot of other things that I like, Cardano. There's a lot of things that I have investments in. XDC. I think XDC is well underrated. It's not financial advice. It's just, I think that the fundamentals are there, right? And I like trade finance. So it's moving along here. So here we go right here. Bitcoin Magazine. America voted for a strategic Bitcoin reserve. We didn't vote for a crypto reserve. Boo-hoo. So is there anybody out there that doesn't think that Bitcoin is going to be probably the first that's going to make up the strategic digital asset reserve? Anybody? I don't hear anybody saying no. Of course, it's going to be part of it. But again, why? It's like, I'm going to invest in the stock market, but I'm only going to invest in this stock. Like, I remember buying Palantir when it was $9. Now, I should have loaded up when it dropped to $5. I didn't. It's too busy in my world, in my life. And then it goes up to what, $80, $90, right? It's just like, is it going to go? I saw one of these guys investors that has a YouTube channel saying, was it going to go to $700? I was like, whoa, so, I mean, a lot of it could go a lot of different ways. Who really knows? I mean, we're going to find out. Love these kind of comments right here. There we go, right there. Chip and Jeff live streaming keep me focused on the prize for so many years. Thanks to both of you. Yeah, thanks. Like I always say, thanks to you guys. Trump is smart. Start with Bitcoin, and now you can add others. The EO did not limit it only to Bitcoin. Diversification is good. Trump knows that. Yeah, and Trump is a builder, right? He used to build buildings. He built buildings all over the world, hotels, you name it. He bought the old post office in DC, turned it into a Trump hotel, and then sold it for a good profit, right? So this is what we're talking about. Finally get me some Cardano again. Yeah, I mean, listen, we're investors. We all have our favorites. It doesn't matter. But if I would say any kind of maximalist I'm a crypto maximalist. I want all crypto to succeed. Can they all? Probably not. Brad Garlinghouse famously said that 98 or 99% of all crypto is probably going to go away. Yeah, maybe at some point. But as long as there's an audience, it's a big 10. There's plenty of room out there. Chad says BTC stands for beta test coin. There you go. There you go. A basket has always been the word. Yeah, this is it. Pablo has it. We don't close ourselves in a box. We have the right to buy what we right. Exactly. How can you, and most of the Bitcoiners, a lot of these guys, champion themselves as I'm a libertarian. I am for free speech, decentralization. Yet they want the government. They want the government to pick the winner. Oh, you didn't pick us. I'm like, wait a minute. What are you guys really for? Now you want the government to pick a winner? Now you want that to happen? And any kind of dissenting voices, they've been blocking people left and right. You say, hey, you'll hear some of the silly things that they're talking about. Somebody will correct them. They get blocked. Like fragile egos too. I mean, you guys are the purveyors of free speech and all things good and holy, but oh no, don't take a little bit of criticism. Don't let somebody correct you. And whatever you do, don't take 20 seconds and Google it. My God, you might find the answer on Ripple's homepage, or you might find it in the XRPL page. I mean, my gosh, can you do that? Let's teach badass yetis to gobble up the Bitcoin maxi trolls. Yeah, we should make some of them with wearing some Bitcoin hats. Sure, it's a multi-chain world. Nobody will trust just one payment option. Never will. That's exactly right. And you don't want one option. This is what makes innovation go, and why the government is never good at doing much is because the private sector is incentivized. You either make it work or you go out of business. You either keep innovating or somebody comes and steals your position. And the government, and this is another thing, another executive order that Trump wrote was, you got to show up at work. That's it. You don't show up at work unless there's some circumstances that will qualify, for some people to stay remote. If you don't show up for work, you lose your job. That's it, right? Do I 100% believe in that? Well, for me, I'm a remote worker. My company is located in Canada. It's a little bit of a commute. And I think when I think about in terms of some roles and some jobs, but when it's the US government, where's the oversight, right? How much work's actually being done? How much work is needed? When Elon Musk took over Twitter and renamed it X later, when he took it over, he deleted like 70% of the workforce. And then he started getting rid of another, and people are like, it's going to fail. It's not going to work. The guy who took the largest rocket ever in the history, it's like 20-story building, flew it up, brought it back down, and landed it and caught it inside of that little carrier thing. Yeah, sure. He doesn't know what he's doing, right? He's apparently doesn't know. So yeah, he made it work. It ran lean and mean. He's still been getting rid of legacy code. I still see it every once in a while. Sometimes if I'm sending a DM to somebody with some wording in there, it won't let me send it. Sorry, we can't send it. Like there's still legacy code hanging around from the other days, but I wouldn't bet against Elon Musk. Love him or hate him, the guy's been pretty successful in his world. Now this guy right here, this guy Pierre Rochard, this guy is something else. Follow me for Bitcoin Insights, the VP of Research at Riot Platforms, and it's a public company, steward of the Catholic Bitcoin. Views are mine, right? So this guy started going off. He said the biggest obstacle for the strategic Bitcoin reserve is not the Fed, Treasury, banks, or Elizabeth Warren. He says it's Ripple XRP. Now this is what's funny. Is it Ripple or is it XRP? And that's weird because I didn't know XRP had a voice. XRP's out there like everywhere just having a voice. This is silly. It's Ripple XRP. They're aggressively lobbying against the SBR by throwing around millions of politicians desperately trying to derail it. What? I mean, where's he getting this stuff from? They did the same to attack Bitcoin mining under the Biden administration. Yeah, they were talking about the mining that was going on in China. Obviously, they want to protect the marketing narratives and push for CBDCs built in their platforms. Well, he's got a point there. I'm not a big fan of CBDCs. I don't think a lot of us are, but yeah, Ripple is, they have a CBDC and they'll sell it. Okay, I don't have to agree with everything they do, so their prerogative. But to sit there and say they've been throwing around millions of politicians, yeah, they donated $5 million. Did Bitcoiners donate any money? I don't know. I think a lot of them did. And then Mayuka says, Pixar didn't happen. He says, I've got a whole video for you. And he shows the Brad Garlinghouse video. And then here we got it. So you're anti-crypto, far away from Satoshi's vision then. And then it's either Bitcoin or it's only a threat. So this is, let me go back to this. And then so Brad Garlinghouse jumped in and said, unless you're choosing to ignore the core tenets of the President of the United States campaign, which aggressively supports American companies and technologies, our efforts are actually increasing the likelihood of a crypto strategic reserve. That's the CSRE is referring to, which includes Bitcoin happening, right? But I got a text from a really good friend of mine who got me into Bitcoin and got me into crypto, but he's a Bitcoin maxi. He's blowing up my phone today telling me that, listen, bro, you've chosen the wrong horse. I'm like, what horse? Are we into crypto? Or are we into just one? Like, I go, this whole idea that one rules them all is like, it's bizarre to me, right? It's astounding. I'm like, one crypto and that's it. And he's like, I'll leave it here. You just, that shit is going to crash big time. Then you're going to be so disappointed. I'm like, oh yeah, crypto's going to crash and it gets better and he does that. But this whole idea of one to rule them all, I don't know. And this is a really good friend of mine. I don't like to watch these little spats get in and I was like, well, I'm just getting ready to do the podcast and go rail on the Bitcoin maxis who are just insane at this point. Brad, have you actually bought XRP or just sold? Yes or no? I don't need to know how much, but just curious, since you're asking about the government to buy, you're asking the government to buy XRP. I don't think Brad answered that one, but we know Brad does own XRP. He knows it's part of his compensation. Brad and Pierre, you need to sit down and discuss this like gentlemen over a beer, preferably a Canadian craft beer. Oh, I agree with that wholeheartedly. Why would he buy XRP when he can just print it? Geez, Bitcoin maxi much? It's already been decided. Welcome to the parallel construction. Not your fault. You've been enveloped by Bitcoin maxi tribalism, utility. Oh my gosh, it's just insane, all this stuff that's going around. So Pierre comes back with common sense. You don't have to be a Bitcoin maximalist to understand that Bitcoin is digital gold suitable to be a reserve asset. If government needs smart contracts, DeFi, NFTs, utility tokens, that's a separate conversation / legislation. Nothing to do with the strategic reserve. So yeah, well, that's great if you're going to make it about DeFi, utility tokens, and everything else. But that's not the conversation. The conversation, if you're going to have a strategic reserve, you're probably going to want a basket of assets. You don't want just like one. There's only one. It's the Bitcoin reserve. And, if you have 4, 5, 10, whatever, you have a better shot of succeeding. Imagine an organization that invests in other companies. They say, oh, we're just going to invest in one. That's it. There's only one company to invest in, and that's it. That we're not going to invest in any other companies. We're only putting all our money, and that's fine if you want to do that. That's not how it works. They know that out of 100 companies, 90% are going to fail. 10 are going to be in the top 10, and 1 or 2 will be your unicorn, right? That will do really well. So you bet on a lot of horses to be able to pull the one because nobody has a looking glass into the future. I hear they've got the technology, but let's just assume they don't have the technology, right? And thank God we have people like Santiago Velez in our community who can really, and I reposted this with a boom because he says, no, America should be defined by the freedom of markets and should avoid using the power of the government to pick winners and losers. This is what you're supposed to believe in, right? These Bitcoin maxis. This is what got the government so antagonistic against crypto. If Bitcoin is as robust and its properties are as supreme as you claim, then let it compete on its own merits in the marketplace on a level playing field. Man, we've got some really great people in this community, super smart. I love to see this. Santiago, love the guy. I repost a lot of his stuff, and when he talks, he makes a lot of sense. Here we go right here. I'm going to go through this. You guys are going to laugh when I start clicking through this here. You get a sip of coffee here. Bitcoin only, no stockpile. Pass it on. Uncle Rockstar developer. Bitcoin only, no stockpile. Pass it on. Bitcoin only, no stockpile. Pass it on. You know, American HODL. If there's likely no buying for the stockpile and it's just the U.S. hodling the coins it already has, then rebrand. Nothing but signaling. That's okay if you like the signal it sends. But what is the signal it sends? Because it's not Bitcoin only. The signal is like, I like Bitcoin, buy my shitcoin. It's Tron as legitimate as it's Tron legitimate as Bitcoin. Not even getting into all the arguments of the Dems will have about being crony capitalism, which they wouldn't be effing right about. Bitcoin only or no stockpile. Sorry, any amount of shitcoin sends the exact opposite signal we are intending to send. It's only little shitcoins, bro. Would you think a smoothie of that was 3% shit? Bitcoin only or nothing. It's not time to make peace with scammers. If the stockpile isn't Bitcoin only, we need to come out strong against it and make it toxic going forward politically. We'll have Lummis's strategic Bitcoin reserve bill. We don't need this stupid effing anti-signal stockpile. This is, who gets this angry about another digital asset and the fact that we're not number one? You guys are like the libertarians, you're like, F government, screw everything. We don't need banks. Banks are stupid. They're still calling it a banker's coin. This is how out of touch with reality some of these people are. Here's Joe Burnett. Brad Garlinghouse literally created XRP for himself out of thin air, and now he wants to dump it on the U.S. government. Well, thank God we have people like Moon Lambo with a what the F laughter, XRP derangement syndrome. XRP was created on 6/2 of 2012. Months later, Ripple was created. Years later, Brad Garlinghouse joined Ripple. It was in 2015. So much butthurt going on. So this is it. Just like spew anything out there. He literally created it for himself and it was out of thin air. Well, last time I checked, all crypto's out of thin air. Oh yeah, you can mine it. Sure, solve a computational problem and then you can get a little bit of a reward. Same stuff. Where's it coming from? What are you really mining, right? It's all math. Rod Palmer, did you know that the XRP lost its Genesis block? More than 30,000 XRP blocks are missing and nobody knows where they went. Brad Garlinghouse and Ripple, people just want to know. Dear Brad, where's the 30,000 missing XRP blocks? This has been talked about. Like, put a sad picture of Brad Garlinghouse up there, an old one, by the way. This is what they're all worried about, right? This is the kind of stuff that they're Mason Lighthouse, like someone actually cares. What about your missing ledgers? Where did they go? And then, the community just jumped in and just like, oh God, we're in the same city. Laughed my ass off. XRP to the moon. Then we've got YETIS is jumping in. He goes, look at that. The Bitcoin bros are doing free XRP advertisements now. Just love all this stuff here. Hugo Filion, who's heading the CEO over there at Flare, he says, I don't care what some Bitcoin maxis say. 2025 is the year of XRP.cafe. Flare will be a big part of this. Right? Well said. And then it's just this is only the ones I could grab. There's so many of them. America First means kicking Ripple and their shitcoin XRP to the curb. Well, thank God for people like Sam. Ripple's an American company, and we know the XRPL was made in America. Can you say that for Bitcoin? Boom. And then we have Senator Cynthia Lummis. Allow me to reintroduce myself. And I said, as a Bitcoin maxi, not the energy we need. This woman only knows one digital asset, and it's Bitcoin. So I don't know if those are Bitcoin glowing eyes. I don't know if she's turned over a new leaf, but she's the one heading up the digital assets in the Senate. Has me a little bit nervous because she only knows Bitcoin, 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 Bitcoin. So I don't know if she's getting in on these conversations or not, but that seems to be a lot of what she's been doing. This was another funny post by YETIS. He says, dire straits, money for nothing, may actually be about crypto bros. And I'm like, there's something to be said about that. If you guys know the dire straits tongue money for nothing, They ain't working. That's the way you do it. Money for nothing and your chicks for free. No, that ain't working. That's the way you do it. Let me tell you, these guys ain't dumb. Maybe you get a blister on your little finger. Maybe you get a blister on your thumb. And then, see a little faggot with the earring and the makeup? Yeah, buddy, that's his own hair. That little faggot's got his own jet airplane. That little faggot's a millionaire. We got to install microwave ovens, custom kitchen deliveries. We got to move these refrigerators. We got to move these color TVs. So he's thinking that might just be about crypto bros. And maybe it is. I don't know. I really don't know, man. But I'm thinking that Hester Purse is loving life these days, man. Look at this. I don't know if she changed her picture. Look how happy she is right there. She's happy. She's had to defend, all of Gary Gensler's dumb moves over the time. Appreciate that. Look at that. Rough Rican gifted 5 on the chain live memberships. Wow, nice going. Appreciate that. Thank you for that, Rough Rican. That's beautiful. Appreciate the support in here every Saturday morning with the big support. Thank you so much, man. Another OG in the space. Gots to love that. What else do we have to get to? We don't have much time. We have 10 minutes left here. My gosh. So there's so much to cover today. But I do have a couple videos for you guys, as always. Sometimes I like to watch some videos and see what it is. I wanted to put this one up because this is Jack Mahler. And for some reason, he's out of that little closet he was trapped in. Remember, he'd always do an interview. He'd be like in a closet, a vacant closet. I don't know if it was a backdrop or closet in his house. But he's the guy that runs the Lightning Network. And this is what my buddy sent me. And I said, yeah, I watched it. I laughed my ass off. So this is Jack Mahler. And he made a whole video about it. Let's watch this.
Okay, emergency press conference. Ripple is undermining American prosperity and freedom.
Oh, okay.
I can confirm Ripple is actively spending millions of dollars trying to undermine a strategic Bitcoin reserve in the United States of America.
Okay. Explain how he did that. So everything was public. So we know that they donated to the inauguration fund, and we know they donated to his campaign. Well, guess what? A lot of other people did too, especially people in crypto. They gave a lot more than Ripple, and a lot of Bitcoiners gave Bitcoin and donated Bitcoin. He probably had more in Bitcoin than anything else, but he's telling you that they're trying to undermine. I have proof. Okay, let's wait for the proof.
This is not just an attack on Bitcoin, but on principles of transparency, on fairness, and on our national security.
Okay. So if we're talking about Bitcoin and national security, we don't know who Satoshi Nakamoto is. Like, don't make an argument that outdoes what the message you're trying to deliver. There's not been really more a transparent organization than Ripple. Ripple has been incredibly transparent. They were going to the SEC, hey, we're doing this, we're doing that, announcing everything they're doing. Super transparent, right? But he's making this whole case that Ripple's trying to undermine not just Bitcoin. Okay, Jack Mahler, what else do you have to say here?
A Bitcoin strategic reserve would be one of the most important economic announcements in American history. I personally would put it on par with Nixon in 1971. However, it would be the first positive economic announcement that comes from the United States in the last 100 years. In 1933, the U.S. made an economic announcement. What was it? We're confiscating your gold. In 1971, the U.S. made an economic announcement. What was it? We're divorcing ourselves from the gold standard. We're divorcing ourselves from being governed by the immutable laws of Mother Nature so that we can debase your money and inflate your life. He's
making a good point there.
2008, the U.S. made an economic announcement. What was it? It was, we are bailing out and protecting private corporations, banks, and Wall Street at the expense of you, the public.
Making another good point.
If the U.S. goes on to make an economic announcement that is the support of a Bitcoin strategic reserve, it will not act against its people in the best interest of the public. It will do the opposite. This is a money that is owned, operated, and governed by the people. Governments and corporations own a fraction of this network. Who owns it? Who had first access? the people, the public. This is about being pro-industry, pro-jobs, pro-energy, pro-growth, pro-technology. This is about solving our deficits. This is about leaning into the future and investing in prosperity for generations to come, equality, inclusion, the leader of the free world, adopting technology that promotes American ideals, a money that we don't control but that we support, that both aids to solve our country's biggest problems and promotes the world we want to see as Americans and its people. Now, Ripple. Ripple is
That was a long-winded thing to get to Ripple. I was like, oh, okay, now let's get back to Ripple.
a for-profit company.
That's right.
It prints its own token in
It does not.
XRP. And it is asking the U.S. government to support its monopoly. I ask you this: why should the U.S. government back a privately owned currency? This is
Well, this is because you didn't do your homework there, Jack, because it's not Ripple's. That's your biggest problem. Yeah, it's in an escrow fund, but people still can't figure this out. Ripple, a for-profit company, XRP, a decentralized digital asset. They just can't, their minds can't handle it. Oh, I can't figure it out. So they go down this road of this and everyone watches this and they say, yeah, Jack, because this is how they all believe. They're all living inside of a vacuum together.
corporate lobbying disguised as innovation.
And you know what? I dropped a comment on this under this video that he posted. I'm like, Jack, dear Jack, the fastest way, he runs the Lightning Network, the fastest and most cost-effective way to move Bitcoin from point A to point B is still on the XRPL. 4 to 5 seconds, full remittance, okay? And it's called Spend the Bits. That's how it works, Jack. Not your crappy little your Lightning Network that's garbage. But he's going to tell you that does you think this guy even knows what the XRPL is? Do you think he understands that it's fiat and crypto agnostic? Do you know you can transfer any fiat to any crypto to any crypto going back, that you can move this? This guy is very uneducated. We try to educate them. The communities try to jump in. We try to say, hey, these are the fundamentals. Here's a link. They don't care. They don't want to know. They just aren't interested in caring. So let's continue on here. I just have to stop and comment here every once in a while because I understand the guy's passionate. He landed some good things about fiat currency coming off the gold standard. He's right about a lot of this. However, the approach he's taken is it's not really grounded in anything that's actual fact.
This is corporate lobbying disguised as tech, growth, jobs, industry. Ripple created all of its currency, issued it to themselves.
Again, if you just do a Google search, Ripple didn't even create XRP. Okay, I mean, it just takes a little bit of effort. Ripple did not do that. I mean, my gosh, like everyone here knows that, but how does this guy not know?
Relies on the public to buy it. This is not the money for the people. This is not in the best interest of the public. This is in the best interest of a private corporation. This is an economic announcement that would be like 2008, that would be like 1971, that would be like 1933. This is against what this new administration and President Trump stands for. This is against the best interest of the United States of America. It is absurd and ridiculous, and Ripple needs to stand down immediately. Not only are they undermining future prosperity.
Sit down, Jack. Okay, who are you? You're a nobody, okay? The Lightning Network, right? You had to create some kind of a sidechain network to be able to move Bitcoin because Bitcoin doesn't move. 7 transactions per second. You think it's going to become the global reserve currency? You're out of your effing mind, dude. 7 transactions a second. Good luck with that. Do you actually want people to use it? How much transaction fees do you want them to pay? I mean, this is a silly thing. You can debate all this stuff, but the fundamentals are there. You had somebody like David Schwartz, chief tech officer, who was somebody who contributed to Bitcoin back in the day, right? They said when they started Ripple, they wanted something different. And so you had, what's the guy's name? Ryan, the guy that actually created, wasn't called XRP back then, but the guy that actually created the coin, I mean, they had a different vision for being able to have more utility. And the last message that was posted, Satoshi Nakamoto posted, "We have much more to do," or something to that effect. It was like, we're not done yet. There was intention to develop Bitcoin further. It didn't get further, right? So that's just how it is.
In the United States benefiting from the technological innovation that is Bitcoin, but they are also trying to take advantage of the situation and benefit themselves. Call your representatives and demand an investigation into Ripple's lobbying efforts.
Can you imagine this?
Tweet publicly. Post your comments publicly. I've begun fighting back.
Oh,
I will not stand for this.
Oh, no.
I am an American.
So am I.
I plan to have children and raise them in America.
I have children. I raised them here.
I will not let Ripple undermine our prosperity, freedom, and benefiting from Bitcoin, a neutral, fair money for the people, for the public.
Can you imagine what happens when Trump gets rid of the Federal Reserve, and creates a new sovereign currency that's digitally based, that isn't Bitcoin? Can you imagine what happens there? And that's what I said. So if you get Cardano, right? If you get Cardano, XLM, XDC, whatever, you put this in the basket. XDC all-time high was 19 cents. I don't know. It was around 14, 12. I don't know. I don't check prices all the time. Something big happens, someone will let me know. But the point is that goes to $20 or $50. Is that a good investment for the United States? Hell yeah, it is. If XRP ends up going to 20, 30, 40, 150, $700, was that a good horse to bet on? Absolutely. If Bitcoin, and I'll say this, when Bitcoin goes from 100,000-ish to $1 million, that's a 10x. You make a basket, 10x, we'll blow past 10x, 20, 30, 40, 100x. So that's why you want to be diversified. It's the same with your portfolio. Do these guys invest in the stock market the same way? They probably don't even invest in the stock market. The stock market sucks. If you listen to Saylor, he's like, yeah, I bought Apple back in the day. I bought this, I bought that, but he doesn't buy them anymore. So he's like totally off that game. So thank you, Norseman. Appreciate that. Chip made a meme coin. Casey, oh no. Kansas City three-peat on pump.fun adding this historical trending moment. The Chiefs three-peat XY.XYZ. Man, dude, you are totally, I love that. Come in with some support just to troll me. Well done. I commend you, man. Well played, Norseman. And they may three-peat. And if they do get to the Super Bowl, I feel like they will three-peat. They are a team. They're the top team, right? They're the team to knock off. I felt that in this round of playoffs. Look, especially at home, they always find a way to win, especially in the playoffs. So listen, I want my Bills to win. The Chiefs are tough, man. Do I hate them? Yeah. Am I going to be screaming at the TV? Oh, I will be. But listen, they're the team to beat. And until somebody else shows up, they're the top team, and they could three-peat. No one's ever done it before, so it's looking forward to it. But thank you for that, man. Rough Regan says, I thought the whole point of BTC was to be free from government. Exactly. Yeah, no government involvement. Government, you have to pick the winner. Well, punch you in the face. Ripple, a private company, lobbying. I won't stand for it. I plan to have children one day. Listen, I really appreciate the impassioned speech. I love the fact that he cares about it so much. But come on, to not think you would diversify is a silly argument. I mean, why would you even want that? Am I missing something? You're not missing anything. This is what we're talking about. It's part of the conversation. Has the Lightning Network ever worked? You know, when you drop a thing on there, spend the bits, in 4 to 6 seconds for less than a cent, you can move a lot of Bitcoin. Bing, just like that. And I was asking my buddy about the XRPL. He doesn't know what that is. He doesn't know what the XRPL is. He has no idea. I go, you don't know what the XRP ledger is? No. Do you know that was the world's first DEX? Well, no. Did you know that that it's crypto and fiat agnostic? No, it doesn't know any of it. Doesn't want to know. The difference is not that some people don't want to be educated, just doesn't care enough, not curious enough to want to know. why we invested in Ripple? Nothing was hidden in Microsoft because of Satoshi's vision. Yeah, well, I mean, some people own like early shares of Ripple. I don't. I own XRP, but I own Bitcoin, I own Ethereum, I mean, look, I'm a Bitcoin maximalist. NFL is rigged. And well, when I see refs making weird calls, yeah, it does, especially in the game last week. I thought, my gosh, there was some really, and they asked Mahomes if the refs give KC preferential treatment. He said, I don't think so. Good answer. I would say the same exact thing. Oh no, I don't think so. I think they're always pretty fair. And I wanted to, so Pete Hegseth was confirmed yesterday. And I wanted to
get your kids out of,
I want to play this video because this video came up in the hearings as well, but this is Pete. He's talking about a different subject matter, but listen what he has to say.
Systems right now, if you have any way, save money, move, get a second job, don't take the vacation, sell the boat, whatever, drive for Uber, figure out what you need to do to get your kid out of the government school system, because it's about saving your kid right now. What I want to know is what's being pumped into the minds of those kids. And what you realize when you pull the curtain back over 100 years is the entire pipeline of our education system has been federalized intentionally. And taken over not just by like lefties or technocrats or bureaucrats. Everyone you meet through that timeline who's pushing hard on the shoulder on the plow of education is an atheist, a Marxist, or a socialist, or a humanist. A lot of them are humanists.
What's a humanist?
Humanist is basically completely rejects Christianity or faith at all. And so it's all, humanity is at the center of good and evil, right and wrong. It's effectively secularism posited as an alternative religion to Christianity. Oh. So it'll find politics as an avenue, and so humanists are often socialists or Marxists or communists alongside being a humanist. But it's the worship of mankind as the highest being, as opposed to God as the highest being. So they're all that's the train of people pushing this educational philosophy. And I used to think it started in the 60s. It actually goes back to the progressive era and even before that. But they very intentionally, the one thing they knew they had to remove from the beginning was God. God had to come out of the schools because God was the immovable object that prevented their utopian schemes. They wanted, if you want to manipulate children, if you want to change the way they think, rewire the relationship of families, you have to get at the God thing, because the garden and the sin in the garden is all disrupts those utopian schemes. And so the early progressives, communists, Marxists, very intentionally worked hard in creating systems that slowly but surely removed God.
So that's newly confirmed Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. And the left's up in arms about him too. Like, oh my gosh, this guy, he's had so many problems, whatever. But I mean, I think I had a post here somewhere. I was like, look, the guy once, he fought in battle, right? I mean, guy's been on the, he's watched men die in front of him. Most of the people that are defense secretary never fought in any war, never did anything. They don't even know how the chain of command or battle works. And the last defense secretary was AWOL for 5 days. Not around. He was in a hospital and nobody knew where he was. The Biden administration didn't know, but we found out recently that happened again. He was missing for 3 days. Didn't notify anybody. He was just gone. AWOL. But don't worry about that. Yeah, who cares about that? Not a big deal. That's just the way it happens once in a while. No one's going to worry too much about that. See what else. Got a couple more videos here. Then we're going to get out of here and have a really awesome, prosperous, fun weekend. Let's see, what else did I have? I had 2 more videos to play. Well, this one was fun. This is a short one, but this is Trump with the mayor of LA and also Brad Sherman. I just pulled this one bit. There were so many great things that happened during this because Trump pushed back on their narratives. But this is him talking to Brad Sherman.
Relief items which will prevent it or at least mitigate it from happening again. So you're going to see us proposing both of those.
Like water. Little things like water. The party of common sense. See, we're the party of common sense. You're not, in all fairness.
Yes, sir.
We like water to put out fires. It's really quite efficient. All right.
Thank you.
Do you see Brad Sherman giggling over there on the side? There he is right there, the Shermanator, the guy, the anti-crypto guy. He's sitting back and he's like, Brad, we like water. We like to put fires out with water. Look at him.
Yes, sir.
We like water to put out fires. It's really quite efficient. All right.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. President.
There you go. That was a short one, but he's like laughing. I don't know if it's probably nervous laughter. I don't think he's like really laughing because he likes what he's saying, but it's just like, my God, that was so painful to watch that whole thing. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to end with these two videos here. We're going to end with we're going to take a look at the old borders are versus the new borders are. You guys ready for this? Let's go.
The idea that he is trying to say that we have people that are trying to invade our country to commit mass crime is a crisis of his own making.
What about Trump?
I specialize in transnational criminal organizations. Yeah. That wall ain't gonna stop them. No.
To the criminal cartels in Mexico. You smuggled enough fentanyl across this country to kill 148,000 young Americans. You have killed more Americans than every terrorist organization in the world combined. And that's when President Trump gets back in office. He's going to designate you a terrorist organization, and he's going to wipe you off the face of the earth. You're done. You're done.
Any questions? From embarrassing to kicking ass, I have to tell you that is absolutely phenomenal. You got to love that, man. That's so great to see. And then let's take a look to one. We're going to end in this video right here. We're going to go out on a bang here. We usually play a funny video, but we already played the funny video. But here we go. We're going to play this one because this is the most historic 100 hours in American history. I'm going to put it full screen here, and then I'll come back and we'll send you guys on your way. Here we go.
Golden age of America begins right now. America's decline is over. We will be working to meet every crisis with dignity and power and strength. We will move with purpose and speed to bring back hope, prosperity, safety, and peace for citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed. For American citizens, January 20th, 2025 is Liberation Day. In everything we do, my administration will be inspired by a strong pursuit of excellence and unrelenting success. America will reclaim its rightful place as the greatest, most powerful, most respected nation on earth. I am with you. I will fight for you, and I will win for you. We will not be conquered. We will not be intimidated. We will not be broken, and we will not fail. From this day on, the United States of America will be a free, sovereign, and independent nation. We will stand bravely. We will live proudly. We will dream boldly, and nothing will stand in our way because we are Americans. The future is ours, and our golden age has just begun.
Close their border, declared a crisis at the southern border, remain in Mexico, $1 trillion for new investments, ended catch and release, deployed troops to the border, enhanced vetting, ended DEI in government, established DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency, pardoned J6 prisoners, drill baby drill, declassified JFK, RFK, and MLK files, ended the EV mandate, renamed the Gulf of Mexico, renamed Mount McKinley, ended weaponization of intelligence, withdrew from the Paris Climate Accord.
The golden age of America begins right now.
America's back, baby. America is back. The world's coming back. The world will also follow. You know, we had people like Malay, Bukele down in South America leading the way, showing how it can be done. And someone like Malay down in Argentina. Now you're seeing Trump. Now you're going to see Justin Trudeau stepping down. They'll put somebody else in there, but it's going to pave the way for someone like a Pierre Poilievre. And then we're going to see already what's happening in the UK. We have two-tier Keir Starmer. We also have, Macron in France. You see what's happening in Germany right now. This is, look, it may have started elsewhere, but it's spreading like wildfire. And so what we all have to look forward to is whatever country we're in, is we're not going to put up with it anymore. We're going down the path of decentralization. We want less government involvement in our life and our world. We want to be able to provide for our families. We want to be able to live the lives we want to live, and we want to live them with freedom. And we want the free, we want freedom of speech to be able to say or call out the government. I love the fact that every time Elizabeth, the fake Indian Warren, posts something, I can slam the hell out of her. I can tell her all kinds of stuff. You know what? She can't do a thing about it. It's free speech. I can say whatever. I'm not threatening. I'm just saying you're completely disingenuous and you're a complete fraud. I can say that all the time, and I just enjoy doing it, because if you ever look at one of the posts she puts up there, she's crying so hard these days. Oh, crying about this, crying about that. Yet she never lifts a finger to do anything. And so I feel bad for the people of Massachusetts. They could have chosen a winner in John Deaton. They chose her. Enjoy your sad 6 years, because she's rendered irrelevant. It's a new dawn in America, and it's a new dawn in the world, and it's just the beginning. So I wish everybody a phenomenal weekend. Thank you for saying that, not Queen Elizabeth. Go Bills. Yes, go Bills. Pocahontas is exactly right. Enjoy the weekend, everybody. Yep, thanks for the info. That's your presentation. Beautiful. Great show today. They all are. Yeah, well, you guys make them great as well. And Jeff will be back with you guys tomorrow night, because you know what? I'll be watching the Bills. Go Bills. Got my Bills blue on. I'll be wearing my Josh Allen jersey. Actually, I probably won't, because every time I wear it, Bills lose. So maybe I won't wear it tomorrow. But anyway, go Bills. Hopefully they're winners, and I'll be a happy guy on the next podcast, which will be Wednesday night. We'll see you guys on the next one. Chip and Jeff, even though he's not here. Ow. Wait a minute. I don't even have it queued up yet. I can't do the throw if I don't even have it queued up. How can I do the throw without having it queued up? Chip and Jeff out. See you guys in the next one.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.